Okay.
Dan missed the little 3, 2, 1 thing that I did, didn't he?
Did I? Yeah. I'm not doing the intro though.
Oh, who is? Maybe we
Tom.
should have talked about this before we hit the button.
Yeah, Tom did the intro.
Yeah.
Everyone's just staring into different corners.
Shall I?
It's a novel approach to live
Shall I do it
interaction.
now?
I think we've started, Tom. So
We
you
have.
might welcome everyone.
Hello and welcome to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. If you're joining us on YouTube, then you will have seen behind the curtain right there.
Was
hello,
I
Wade.
unclear or ambiguous in any way with what I said?
You said, "Let's start,"
Yeah.
and yeah,
And then
And
I
he did do
didn't-
the 3, 2, 1, and I saw him do it, but he sort of held it down here, going.
Anyway,
Okay.
just wave everyone, wave to the YouTubers, wave. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on YouTube.
I need a way of
Tonight,
like,
I'm sponsored
physically
by this.
poking you over this. We'll have to arrange something. I'm sure there's some sort of USB poker that we can arrange.
just like surely you can administer like an electric shock or something similar.
To be honest, there is almost certainly some sex toy that we could repurpose for this.
There
Yeah.
is. There's that cock chastity belt thing that everyone hacked. The digital one.
Yeah, that's it. Pop the old chap in a little cage, and
Russ will
I'll
control
release it when we're ready to start.
Yeah, I mean the big concern there though is that it was hacked by people that wanted to hack these things, and basically you were in the control of a complete stranger. So I hear.
Anyway, if you've been joining us on YouTube tonight, then thank you very much. And we hope you enjoy the show. If you are listening to us on the podcast on any of the other platforms, Spotify, iTunes, those kind of places, then thank you very much for listening to us as well. Maybe next time you want to check out the stream, it's totally up to you. It's all fair in love and podcasts. Anyway, we're returning to a format that we absolutely love, which is the seamless segue from love and podcasts into loving stuff. Now, one of the very first podcasts that we ever did with Russ was a great idea of his called Searching Questions, and the format has gone on to be probably the most successful series of podcasts in internet history, I believe. To the
Yeah, I
point
think
where
that is verified now, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
absolutely
on Wikipedia.
exactly. Well, I was going to say to the point where if something is spoken about on a Searching Questions episode of the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast, and we decide that is the answer, then it gets updated on the wiki, and that's it. It's done, isn't it? So that's it. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing Searching Questions, volume, and I'm going to hand over to Dan right now, who's going to take the lead.
I'm starting, am I? That's a bad idea. Okay, so Searching Questions. These are the questions that are just kind of like we've been through. Some of the ones we've been through in the past have been
How do Transformers sex?
how do Transformers sex? Yeah,
I mean, mate, breed. That was
yeah,
it.
we understand. Yeah, which of the Fellowship is the tenderest lover? Was it?
Most
I
sensitive.
think most sensitive,
sensitive
lover.
lover.
Entirely different question. We'll do which one's the tenderest lover next time.
Let's. there's potentially a follow up to this one that I might have just stolen because I'm still running short of a few ideas. Postman Pat, is he a drug mule? What's going on with Thomas Tank Engine in the island of Sodor? These are the kind of questions we will be answering tonight. So if you're on the chat, we want to know your questions that you've got for us. I've got a couple already from other people. I don't know whether they're on the chat. They might be, but if not, I've got them ready to go anyway. Who wants to kick us off?
I'll kick us off.
Go on in.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Right, hang on. Sorry, I should have said that when I actually had my thing open. Okay. Number two. Sorry, on my list, number two. For everyone else, number one. We're off to a fucking flying start. We are literally smouldering like diesel on a petrol forecourt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here we go. Number one, Queen's Gambit, right?
Okay.
Am I
watched it.
therefore to assume, right? This is the thing, that if I take enough drugs, that I'm also going to be good at board games after that.
Yeah, I love that you just went good at board games. So like you'll be an absolutely ace Snakes and Ladders player because you
Like,
trip
this
your
is what I
balls
was
and watch the
thinking,
pieces
like-
moving on the ceiling.
If I spend the next couple of days just taking a shitload of ecstasy, am I going to suddenly be like the best Ludo player ever because I'm just going to be sort of lying there and I'll be like, oh, Ludo appearing on my ceiling, that's brilliant, right? I can play Ludo and win now forever. Is that what we're supposed to take away from this? Take drugs, drink a lot, good at board games.
Yeah.
My experience of maybe that's where I went wrong with Catan. Like we just used to eat cheese and drink wine,
There we go.
and
Right.
eventually
You should have
become
been
terrible
mainlining
at-
speedballs.
Yeah,
Mm.
and became terrible at Catan. Like making, well, I usually make wrong decisions anyway. So yeah, maybe you actually need the drugs.
Yeah, could be
But
a good
you know,
help.
having wood for sheep is going to be funny whether you're sober or not.
Is
See, this is the
is
thing,
that a
like,
Settlers of Catan joke?
Yeah, it's pretty
Hmm.
specific.
Ha ha ha. Chin,
You can-
chin, chin, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, look, we've
one
already
person
proved-
might find it funny.
we've already proved that when you podcast on alcohol, the output is always much better, funnier.
Yeah.
If we eat a lot of sugar as
until
well.
until you watch it back and realise
Yeah.
that actually it was
Yeah.
just 4 uncoordinated messes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, let's try and match up some drugs to the board games that we think that will make. I mean, so acid. I mean, I think that's going to make you really good at something fucking mental like Trivial Pursuit.
I was about to say true. Pictionary. Acid and Pictionary
Acid
is the way to go.
Pictionary,
Yeah, definitely.
There's going to
Yeah.
be a lot of things
Picturing
coming
like
out
you
of
sort of topless, daubed in black paint, and just smearing yourself on a wall. Going, it's a kite. It's a fucking kite. I mean, you know, just taking massive amounts of cocaine would probably make you a more naturally Machiavellian Monopoly player.
I was about to
Yeah,
say,
that's true.
I was going to go with speed, but Coke makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would speed help with Cluedo?
No,
I don't know.
but I'd
What's-
I'd
like-
love to try it.
The sort of the genius detective with a habit of some sort is a fairly well-worn
yeah.
trope. So
Maybe opium then.
yeah, like if you're going like classic, you
Mm.
know,
See,
taking
but this
too
is
much
the thing,
laudanum or
like,
something.
if you're basing it on like the sort of film drug effects, like if he smokes opium, all he does is falls asleep for a bit and then he has a revelation. Whereas actually, if any one of us smoked opium while we were trying to play a board game, we would literally pass out face down on the table
Yeah,
and
spend
come
3
to
days
8 hours later.
sprinting around the neighbourhood, just going "Ah!" at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but conversely,
Did I win?
we know Shaggy and Scooby were basically doing large quantities of weed. So
Yes.
Yes, I believe there's one or
that
two
is
veiled
also a bit like
references.
Cluedo. So would you have to do that for Cluedo?
Well, but they were also fucking useless and never solved a mystery.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, that's
That's
the
a
thing,
good
though.
point.
Can you imagine trying to play Cluedo, which is already one of those games that I just get a little bit too kind of into? Like,
Mm.
so who is the murderer? Like, real kind of suspicious. Like, cocaine is the kind of thing that, you're getting all twitchy and sweaty and pale faced and stuff.
Start
Like,
attacking
well,
people in preemptive self-defense.
Yeah, yeah.
The one drug that would be really useful for most board games, and especially something like chess, is the one that doesn't exist, which is melange or spice from June.
Or to give you sort of precognitive abilities.
Yeah, so you could just
I mean, yeah, that would be
you know,
useful.
yeah.
That is such a good, because I was about to go, they're not real, but then I was thinking that is the perfect searching questions answer. Like that is yeah, bang on, yeah.
Yeah.
We will-
fictional questions, yeah.
I just think in
Fictional
a
answers, yeah.
sort of an international level chess tournament, they do frown on you having like a 45-minute David Lynch abstract flashback sequence with just lights and colours and things.
Well, you'll get busted because you'll have these just completely blue eyes.
Yeah, quite
Yeah, I
hard
do.
to.
I don't
Blue
think
on
there's
blue.
many drugs. Didn't someone get busted for taking drugs playing chess? I haven't watched Queen's Gambit, by the way. This might be the whole plot of it, but
Yeah, I haven't watched
It's
it.
entirely
Yeah.
possible. I mean, I don't read chess
Yeah.
news as often as I should do.
you're missing out. Did you cancel your subscription?
I'd say, yeah, it was
Yeah.
that and Razzle was just wiping me out every month. So
So
everyone
you
had to
stuck
go.
with Razzle.
Yeah. So the Queen's Gambit is great, but you don't learn a lot about chess from it, and you do like. I know it's meant to be that it's like it's just sort of opening up her mind and letting her visualize these things. But in a couple of episodes, it doesn't seem to be like, well, she's shit at chess, and then she takes a pill, and then suddenly she's amazing at it.
What drug is it?
Yeah.
It's not really
it's a
specified.
tranquilizer.
It's some sort of tranquilizer that they get issued at that orphanage place that she's at.
Yeah, I mean, so historically, that's the thing, isn't it? Like back in the old days in America, orphans were given tranks, and so I mean that's the thing. Like it clears your mind.
Yeah.
So imagine
obviously she is a character that's got a huge amount of trauma in her past, and probably, you know, she might be suffering from anxiety and confusion that just stops her concentrating, and this lets her sort of focus on one thing. But I think clearly the implication is that she is naturally a very talented chess player. She's not just hopped up on pills, and it could be anyone.
but then my searching question wouldn't work. So it's got to be.
It does sometimes seem to sort of give that impression, though.
Yeah. So what about the fake drug from Beverly Hills 90210, Euphoria? What do you think that would be good for with board games?
What was that? I mean, that was basically just ecstasy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what
Among Us?
what drug would get you really, really good at mousetrap? Like really good. Like you know, you're the fucking shit at it. Like
You need something that really like sharpens you up and makes you focused and concentrate.
well, that would probably be speed or coke.
Yeah, or maybe that if we're going back to fictional ones, that one that Elijah Wood makes in The Faculty, that they snort out of biros.
Yeah, that's a good film, man. I haven't. Yeah, basically, alien invasion gets
dealt with by teenage drug dealer. Yeah, they're the heroes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think we found a few there. I mean, I don't know whether we want to labour this point, but yeah, basically board games. Kids don't do drugs, but if you want to get really good at Soggy Doggy or Gooey Louie or something like that, maybe crack is the way forward. I don't know. What do you think?
Said nobody ever. Crack, it's the way forward.
Everyone's always saying that kids take crack. Yeah, that seems to be Yeah,
the black fingers. That's only one part of how cool crack is.
There we go. I like to think we're doing our part.
Yeah,
so that's good. Yeah.
You guys can update, Yahoo Answers. You can get on there. Get back to 2001. Update those Yahoo Answers about which drugs. Yeah, you can take and be good at mousetrap.
Nice.
Awesome. Nice one. Good. Great. Who's next?
I've got one.
Go on, then.
Hit us.
Right. So, The Expanse does this bit very well. We know that on the Rocinante, that there is a toilet, and it does a recycling system, and we know that they go to the Dunning. We know that they have a crap. On the Razor Crest, where is the toilet? Is the Razor
in the very first
basically?
episode?
You don't really see. He says, "Where's the toilet?" He goes down, but you don't actually properly see it.
You kind of do. He looks at what is clearly a toilet and goes, "I found it." Calls it the vac tube.
Oh, so it is basically it. I was just going to say I forgot that. Well, that's searching question.
But I mean that is the
Thanks,
first.
Duncan.
That is the first established shitter in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, that is because. So my question goes on. Does it go straight out into space, or do you think there's like a black water holding tank as well? And so the Razor Crest parks up somewhere, and you get the tubes like you do at caravan parks or like RV parks, where you sort of have to connect up the sewage pipe and put it down.
I would imagine it's like airplanes, though. I imagine it just goes into space. Like there is so much crap in space, not literally, but also literally.
I feel like we've done this question before with the Death Star.
Did we?
I feel like we sort of said that if they are flushing all this stuff out into space, then the Death Star is basically a shit smeared space ball. Like people get close to that. Like there's just going to be like literally around the equatorial hemisphere, just like. No wonder there's trenches. I mean, it's just like fucking.
No, I mean they could technically speed that, get that really going, and you've got an extra defense. So like, no, calamari crew, Admiral Akbar going, "It's a crap."
There's
not enough detailed explanations of ablutional practices in science fiction, is there?
No.
So is it, but like, are they? Is this sort of a, are they having to recycle everything? Do they need to retain the moisture, or
like you do in The Expanse?
There you go.
Yeah, or is it, like if you're in a sort of like in Star Trek, they can just replicate stuff, so they're not really worried about that, are they? So I think, isn't it established that basically they do have toilets, but the matter gets taken into the replicator system and broken apart into its component molecules and then used to make new things.
Yeah.
So when he shouts for his tea, Earl Grey hot, it's made out of Worf's hot steaming piss.
Oh my God, Worf's piss must absolutely reek. Like how would you? It fucking stinks.
How would you? Yeah, but how would you know it was Worf's piss? Like if it's a particularly strong cup of Earl Grey. Like,
I mean, I think there's probably a bit more to it, but I'm imagining just there's a little funnel in Worf's quarters, and it's just directed off into a separate tank for Picard's cups of tea. Everyone else just gets, it's just perfectly fine. Everything's broken down into molecules, and it doesn't really matter how it's reassembled. But just for Picard, they siphon off Worf's hot steaming stream and direct it straight into his little cup.
Earl Grey hot, wink, Worf's piss, please.
Yeah. And you just know he's one of those guys that like holds it for ages because he's always behind his little console, so it's like proper dark.
He's never got like a little. He doesn't have like a little Chili's bottle on his desk, does he? He's not drinking enough.
What does Worf do on the ship, Tom? Again, remind us.
Security.
Oh my God, Tom! Have you watched Star Trek since we last spoke?
I've heard of I can spell Star Trek.
It's like Star Wars, but better. It's like Star Wars, but you don't hate 60% of it.
Yeah. But somehow still think it's the best.
So, going back to holodecks, do you?
Oh Jesus! Again?
Yeah. Do you reckon if someone has a golden shower fetish, they don't break down the piss, and you just get all the piss?
So instead of it being replicated piss, is actual crew members' piss. Like just, yeah. I suppose, like if the computer's like, well, something like 75% of the crew are requesting golden shower programs. So instead of breaking this down, it's easier just to hold it directly above the holodeck and hose them down with it. Because apparently there are no moral or consent-based controls on what you can do in the holodeck.
What are the chances that everyone's into it? Barclay fucking blatantly into it, by the way. But it's I'm not shaming anyone.
He would be coining it, making selling copies of his Dr. Crusher golden shower model program that he can put together.
I mean, we'd all give it a go once, wouldn't we?
Well, apparently in the holodeck, literally anything goes.
Like at what point? You're on this long mission through space, right? At what point do you just get bored of the normal shit in the holodeck? Yeah. What point do you get bored of playing squash with Shakespeare and think,
computer, I want the captain to fist me. You are crew member 6,953 to request this program today.
Ah, God, that means everyone's into it. I'll change my mind. Captain, as a Borg, and I want, instead of having an arm, him to have a dildo for a hand.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what the Voyager? Can you imagine what the Voyager crew, their holodeck was like? I mean, they're stranded in the arse end of nowhere, probably thinking every day is going to be their last. I mean.
Didn't they have to shut down the holodeck apart from for emergencies because it uses a lot of power?
Well, they had to shut down the holodeck, because of that, and also because they had a holographic doctor.
Yeah, and they needed it to run him. So it's like, crew, I've got bad news and bad news.
I think that's right.
We're stuck 25 billion light years from Earth, and the technological wank palace is offline.
So you're,
but much like the fan base, it's okay because about 2 seasons in, we'll pick up a hot Borg. Yeah. So like it's. Yeah.
But don't worry, we found that the replicator is incredibly good at creating a very smooth gliding lube substance, which we are using for the engine manifolds, but we've also found works incredibly well as an all-round moisturizing component. So. Every half an hour, everyone can nip off for 2 minutes for, a rub or a fub. It depends what they like. It's all good.
So like, and you can imagine they get back to the Alpha Quadrant, and they dock up for the first time, and like you see like the engineering crew and the cleaning crew come in to sort out the ship, and like it's been away for years, okay, and it's finally made it back. They never made it back in the end, actually, did they? That was the thing. Am I spoiling Voyager for people?
It was like 25 years ago. Didn't Janeway basically make it so that it never happened?
Something like that, yeah. But anyway, you can imagine. Look, let's imagine they just come back. They make it back. Okay.
I think they do get back, but it's been like 80 years and half of them are dead.
So
and
like
then somehow Janeway goes back and stops happening.
They go in the holodeck, and instead of like just like the yellow and black like patchwork kind of like design, you've got just like these cardboard cutouts of like villages and stuff from crazy stuff they've tried to do in the holodeck and make their own entertainment. Going, God, you must have been so fucking bored.
Yeah. Like, also, the engineers would
really
go to
interesting holes. Please
go to open up the drainage tank underneath it. It's sort of stuck or something. It's just.
Yeah. God, there's a lot of mushrooms in it.
You're gonna need some shovels and a pressure
hose. God, this one even load Picard pegging program 6. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, how do we always end up talking about the holodeck?
That's because I brought that up.
The holodeck is the most problematic thing in science fiction.
Can you imagine? I would love if like the last book of The Expanse, like this incredibly serious sci-fi that takes itself very seriously, they go, it was all in a holodeck, wasn't it? Amazing.
Well, that's basically Dallas, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all a dream. Don't worry, he's just having a shower. It's fine. He didn't.
The golden one.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, the latest series of The Expanse might be the finest series of any TV show I've ever watched.
I'm saving it. I've not started it yet. Is it all on Prime at the moment?
The first 7 episodes are on there now.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to save it up and
it is
plow through it.
So fucking good.
The problem is though, Dan, your recommendations, I've taken none of them, and I refuse to take any of them.
Okay, here's the thing, Tom. When like I'm not right
a PC.
I'm not right about a lot of things, right? But when it comes to this shit, when have I been wrong?
To be fair, and I'll say I'll do it to the camera.
The
yeah.
Everything that Dan has ever recommended that I do, that I have had any form of resistance to, and have eventually done, I have absolutely loved. And so he's absolutely right. But I will always resist, because I think it's part of our. I think we're destined to do this forever, Dan.
No one ever listens to me, and I think Russ has got a point. I think I get too passionate about things. I think that's what it is.
It is fun to listen to you and just go,
"Yeah,
no, I'm not bothered."
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't sound that good, actually.
But it's, the annoying thing about The Expanse,
I was going to watch it, but then something about the way you described it, it's just really put me off.
It really turned me off.
Russ and Duncan, back me up. Though. The Expanse is really good.
Oh yeah, I mean The Expanse is, it's up there. It's it is BSG levels good.
You need to be able to put some time into it again.
It's just so nice to see something and you watch it and you go, that could happen. That is how a spaceship would work. That is how they would fly. That is how they would fight.
That is how they would.
Doesn't really sound like
artificial
my
gravity.
cup of tea. Doesn't sound like anything I like.
It's really, really good.
There's definitely never been a film that you like about space truckers that encounter an alien life form.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
No, nothing. No.
Anyway, my next question has to do with Alien. If you guys have ever heard of that film?
Oh yeah, no, never heard of it.
Yeah, haven't got a clue.
What about Russ? Does he have a question?
I don't know. We don't have to go in order.
You can go, Russ.
Do you actually have one about Alien that you want to do?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't want to sully the good name of Alien with this tat.
So mine's
I'm only kidding, for fuck's sake. I saw Dan's face go purple. You motherfucker.
Right, this is a simple one that's been asked many times before. Why can't anyone in a film or TV use a mouse? If anyone needs to do anything on a computer, they immediately start frantically touch typing, which brings up about 30 windows of scrolling code at once. And that's basically just to check their emails.
Yeah.
And every keystroke is accompanied by a little sound effect as well, which would drive you fucking crazy within about 2 minutes if that actually happened on your work computer.
I'm gonna say Russ has probably tried that, so he would definitely know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Russ has cracked the internet. Let's be honest. Master hacker.
And any
like this.
Password is swordfish.
Swordfish is
Password's
always
swordfish. Yeah.
Yeah, it would just drive you insane, and just anything they're asked to do, which in real life, I get it. It's not very cinematic, but really, what you do is go, yep.
Okay. So what you've described is why they don't do that.
We don't want the actual answers to these questions, Daniel.
I was going to give you the actual answer is that if you do like what actually people do, it looks really boring. And like any kind of exciting scene where they're going, yeah, the bomb's defused. Yeah.
They should do it on a laptop because everyone gets frustrated with the little touch tabs where you're like, fucking just work. The number of times I've gone click, it hasn't clicked. Come on, the little tap, then you go, I've got to press the button now. That makes it a bit more.
A good trackpad. I don't think that exists.
There's no such thing.
And anyone who uses the little Lenovo nipple mouse in the middle of the keyboard is a dangerous psychopath and should be put away. Actually using the little nubbin, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You, sir, are a psychopath.
Yeah, don't ever change.
Every single episode, we get a reference to that here.
I totally get what you're saying. It's ridiculous. I mean, Swordfish is amazing. There's that brilliant montage at the beginning where he's hacking, literally just typing. I don't think there is a mouse. Like, I don't think that's even a thing that's there.
Where he's got like 8 screens and he's typing on 2 keyboards at once.
And he's doing that thing where he's like typing and then he goes, okay, and then runs out of wine and goes downstairs. And this is a manual computer. I mean, this is a very manual series of inputs he's having to do. I don't think the sheer volume of wine this guy's drinking is helping. I think, to be honest, even in the film lore, he's taking the piss by the end of it. I think he's like, wakes
up this next morning.
Right, this super virus, isn't he? And the way it's represented on the screen is it's like a cube that comes together, and he's just going, yeah, as the little things fold together, and then it starts going wrong. He's going, oh no, and the cube starts flying apart. It's like it's done like a mini game, like Mash X on the keyboard to write the virus.
Wakes
don't
up
do it fast enough.
Wakes up the next morning, looks at his laptop, it's all bollocks. Just utter nonsense. Just
turns out I was just pounding 2 keyboards for hours on end.
Turns out he's actually accidentally suddenly he sort of wakes up and then there's a knock at the door, a ring, sort of like and then there's a large number of mysterious Amazon parcels have appeared. What the fuck?
But at least like when did that film come out? Like 2000.
It's happened again.
2002.
Yeah.
Like that was long ago enough that computers and the internet were something of a novelty. But it still happens now.
You still
when
use
everyone
the mouse,
is very familiar with using computers all the time.
Yeah.
And it's part of the whole like zoom and enhance bollocks, isn't it? And the fact that every police department and detective squad in the USA has billions of pounds worth of technology dedicated to their sole use and things like that. And CSI Miami, they had a holographic autopsy suite.
Yeah.
At some point,
complete bullshit.
Yeah, well, at some point they just keep adding stuff because it's convenient for narrative. Like they just, but I think they go a bit crazy with it sometimes. Just how can we make the writing easier here? Like every single time, every week, going. We could be out by lunch if we just had some doohickey that does this. Yeah. Maybe if we do 15 minutes of a camera looking intently at someone's eyes as they move around, and then the sound of keyboard tapping, and then you see a bead of sweat at the top of their eyes. Maybe we can draw that out for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like if that becomes exciting, some music over the top. That's half our writing done with an episode. That's good. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's been somewhere they've used a mouse. What am I thinking of? Castle. definitely uses a mouse. They use a mouse in that.
It's just a really specific, in this one episode of Castle.
Oh, come on. Well, what was that random Nathan Fillion?
Veronica Mars did it quite well. Like when she zoom and enhanced a photograph, she put it into Photoshop and did stuff that you can actually do to a photo to bring out details. She sort of just adjusted contrast and levels and curves and things and used that to find details. There was no bullshit image manipulation stuff there.
That's why she's known as the world's greatest detective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of time now it is touchscreen stuff, isn't it? Where they're going like touching it and zooming it like that. But that's still, and everything's done by tablets now in modern ones. Where like, okay, we'll just tap it on here, and then boom, and I can zoom it on here, and it zooms up there. It's just
nearly everyone does everything on phones and tablets now.
Yeah.
Which is much more exciting because you can you get like a visual representation of what's actually happening.
They're just sharing the screen, but no one has that issue where you try and share your screen with your TV and it's like...
nobody bursts into the situation room and then runs in and goes, no, how is Jeff, is the click share thing on? Do I need... HDMI 2.
Oh, right.
HDMI 2.
No one...
that's VGA. HDMI 2. Jeff, there's a bomb on my... What pin code? What? That's how most of my meetings go.
Jeff, check your emails. You've just been sent a code. Can you just tell me what it is, please? So I can get into this. The problem we've got as well is the death of USB sticks and the rise of the cloud has meant there's no exciting moments where people are waiting for a file to download.
Yeah,
so they can
USB sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was always like the most exciting thing that could happen. Like you saw someone like walking into an office and you saw like this thing like 80% downloaded, 81% downloaded, and I'm constantly looking up. That was more exciting than frantically tapping on a keyboard. But that doesn't happen anymore because they just go, well, I'll just get it at home because I've saved it on the cloud, so it should be fine.
That doesn't always work because sometimes you do need something on the USB stick because that's how it's top secret.
No, sometimes if you live in the arse end of Scotland, you need something on a USB stick. Yes, but most of the time in civilization, we're okay.
Look, got a witty. You just wait for the WhatsApp chat, and I'll give you a witty retort when I think of one. But Into the Spider-Verse USB
Google,
thing.
Set an event for 3 days from now. Wait for Duncan's witty retort about USB sticks.
That's a very good point, though. Into the Spider-Verse. What is it that was on the USB stick? It was the doohickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had to travel from another dimension.
The thing that aligned the dimensions or something, wasn't it? Yeah. What did he call it? A goober.
Doohickey. A goober. That was it. Yeah.
Goober.
There's always a code or a thingy or something, so I just call it a goober.
But even that was a play on the fact that that's a fairly tired thing that happens in these things as well. Like you can still go away with it in the Star Wars universe because it happened ages ago.
Yeah. It did lead to the joke of them having to steal, like they just went and stole the whole computer rather than hacking and getting some file. They're just running away with it going, shit.
It's a great scene as well. Oh, I love that film so much.
It's very good.
He tries to take the monitor as well. We don't need that.
Yes.
The problem with the saving on the cloud is like by the time you're doing that, you've probably nearly used up all of your shared drive space. And you're like, oh fuck! It's like what would be actually happening is someone would be like, oh, the file's too large. I'm gonna have to empty some of my cloud drive, and then you'll be. That's where the tension would be. Like, can they delete enough items to then upload it?
I'm sorry, I can't read you this report because our quota is actually 99% full. Can I delete some of these old MP3s? You listened to this recently?
Yeah. When was the last time you actually listened to 10cc? Come on. Like, but as you're going through, I know there's a bomb, but do I want to pay the £5 for extra storage? Like, am I going to use it again after today? Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Claim this back on expenses.
says £5.
I think just broadly, it's like why is just technology and the use of it still not, even though it's so intrinsic to everybody's life and everybody knows how all this stuff works, it's still represented really weirdly in media.
Yeah, and like I think after the pandemic, we might see a change there, because all of a sudden, even the people that you'd have had people that worked in offices that still didn't know how to have a Zoom conversation, for example. And now
we've been working from home for a year, and there are people who still don't know how to do a fucking video meeting.
But they are aware of it. Zoom is something everyone knows what Zoom is, even if you don't use it. So I would imagine that in the future we'll start seeing more and more things that are probably more realistic. You probably get writers for TV shows that don't really know how this shit works. So as a result, they just kind of fill in the blanks with nonsense. Like Kevin Sorbo shouting disappointed when he was actually meant to just be disappointed. But in actual fact, we're all just disappointed in Kevin Sorbo. Bellend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shall I do one?
Right, who's next?
I like it when you say Bellend. It always makes me laugh.
The Muppet Cinematic Universe, right?
Yep.
Muppet, yeah.
The original MCU.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The Muppet Babies. Are they just young versions of the Muppets? Did they all live together? Did they all grow up together as small children and then just happen to get the same job in the same theatre?
I always saw them as like alternate reality versions.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the adults, Muppets with the Muppet Babies?
I don't think so.
No, I think they're a parallel universe.
I kind of thought they might have been younger, and I kind of associated more them in some ways, though probably more if they were teenagers, with our group. This is really behind the curtain, but Dan, Russ and I all sort of have a quite shared school group of friends.
Are you going to do some inside jokes about our friends from school?
No, I'm just going to say that's how I associated that they basically grew up together as a big group of friends.
Okay.
And just sort of stayed somehow. They just didn't leave the nest, really.
We didn't live together though.
No, that's true.
All the Muppet Babies lived together.
We're not made of fuzzy felt.
Well, the thing is,
Dan
is. Are they living together or are they at a creche?
I always assumed they were living together because they always seem to be like.
I agree with Tom. They could be at the creche because it's nanny, isn't it?
Maybe. Yes, it is nanny. Yes, yeah.
Because if it is a creche, then actually it could be sort of the start of their whole friendship thing. Like this is them as little bubbies.
But they seem to have very established relationships by that point, don't they?
Well, they do talk very, very well for tiny babies. I mean, they always have spoken quite well for monsters as well. Or are they monsters, or are they just Muppets?
They're just kind of like. Maybe we're going into a deeper conversation about the Muppets here, because
your favourite racing game is Muppet Racers.
I mean, let's just knock off the word racing there, shall we? So, like, I think the Muppets are funny because you get the feeling that you get Muppet versions of humans, but humans exist in the Muppet universe.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that you get real frogs, and Kermit is a Muppet interpretation of a frog that just so happens to live at the same time as frogs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm actually So on that front, then I'm happy to accept Russ's thing of the Muppet Babies being an alternate universe timeline.
Light the beacons. Duncan is happy to accept Russ's ruling.
Yes.
Light the beacons.
I got the shiny glass.
That is now canon. I will write that down on the internet.
Yeah. But that I say it does, because like Stadler and Waldorf are definitely Muppets. There are definitely humans, because even in the Muppet Show they have guests who are human, but they are just Muppet versions of humans. So we get Muppet versions of all the animals that just exist in the real world and are considered real, to the point where that the humans that do go on the show start talking to the Muppets like they're real people and real things. Like this, it's just that the world exists and the Muppets are. Maybe we go into a deeper conversation about the Muppets here. Maybe that's what happens, because it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Muppets are weird, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, pretty weird.
Yes, they are.
Pretty odd. Yeah.
They're fuzzy.
Yeah. So, like Miss Piggy, for example, where does she come from?
I always imagined she was some kind of genetic freak.
So do we
experiment?
Okay, let's broaden this out. Where do the Muppets come from?
So are we imagining that in this reality they have evolved some sort of parallel evolution, another form of intelligent life that arose alongside humanity?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
it's like
that's a good
Exactly.
It's a very complicated web of alternate life.
Yeah,
it is like an alternate life, like a base. It's like we've got carbon-based oxygen breathing, or well, not even necessarily oxygen breathing, but we've got sort of carbon-based life forms with DNA that formed us. And there's some, because it's not just one species, is it? It's a whole myriad of
because you've
creatures.
You've got amphibians, you've got reptiles, you've got whatever monsters are.
You've got
there was
an alien in there as well.
Established, and it evolved parallel to what we know of as life on Earth, and it expanded to fill the same evolutionary niches, which is why you have Muppet equivalents of real animals, but in some way they must not compete for the same resources, otherwise they would outcompete each other.
But you also get Muppet sentient vegetables, or what are the equivalent of vegetables, and they are sentient.
Maybe the sentient vegetables outcompeted the real sentient vegetables, which is why we've only got boring non-talking cucumbers.
Do you think that actually
that's really fucked up though, isn't it? Having sentient vegetables, are they what people are eating?
Well, they must be.
The fucking like,
unless the Muppets eat real vegetables. They don't.
You don't want to start. You don't even want to start thinking about Swedish Chef.
Yeah, what is he cooking?
Who
is he cooking?
The talking shit that he's killing to eat.
Yeah. Spork.
Yeah, what about the king prawn?
Yeah. Oh,
King prawn.
what's his name? What's his name?
I can't remember.
Pepe the prawn. Pepe the prawn.
Pepe prawn.
Yeah.
I'm a king prawn.
So what about the fact that Gonzo is an alien? Like, it's canon that Gonzo is actually an alien, which means this shit is happening somewhere else as well.
Does that mean that Muppets are actually an alien life form?
No, Gonzo is. They're very specific that Gonzo's an alien.
Gonzo's
the others
are
just
the rest of them aren't.
Yeah, because there are other examples of them on the planet.
So basically, our type of carbon base, as far as we know it, is the anomaly. But the Muppet form is actually the constant throughout the universe, because we've got an example, and we know that there are multitudes of them, because that's what Gonzo is, and therefore we know it's arisen. Muppet form has arisen elsewhere, but we do not know whether our form of carbon, non-fuzzy or limited fuzz. I wonder if it's actually just a branch of lichen, like. Basically, the common shared ancestor is lichen, and we do share an ancestry with the Muppets. But at one point, with lichen, everything just branched off, and then you got all our 33 kingdoms. No, that's Phyla, isn't it? How many kingdoms? Fuck it, I don't know. Can't think at this time of night.
You can say anything at this point, and the rest of us.
7. The 7 kingdoms. Anyway. Yeah.
We are far more chill with Muppets than I thought we'd be as well, though. Like, we're just kind of like, yeah, Muppets are there. We're cool with it.
Well, I mean, I think, let's face it, if this was real, there would have been, like, historical abuses of Muppets. There'd be treated as second-class citizens. There'd be protests about Muppet rights abuses. It would be awful if it was real, because the world is terrible. Humanity would have treated Muppets abysmally throughout history.
I love that. The MRA.
Yeah.
Well, then they'd be the MRAS or something. The Muppets. What was it? Muppet MRA?
Yeah, the Muppet Rights Abuse Association, something like
Prevention. MRAP. Nice. I mean, the thing is, though, it's like the classic question, isn't it, about stuff like Mario? What is Mario? Like, is he human or not? Because in the recent Mario game, Odyssey. Is it Odyssey?
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
He looks like Mario, but he's surrounded by humans.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is he? What the fuck?
I kind of assumed he was from an alternate
to change a U-bend.
We've been through that one, but I kind of assumed he was from an alternate universe.
Mario.
Yeah,
well, he's Bob Hoskins, and he comes from our universe.
Bob Hoskins.
R.I.P. Bob. But yeah, I kind of assumed that there is a world where everyone looks like Mario. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean
Luigi.
What an awful place that would be.
And he's still a shit plumber in that world. But yeah, that was my thinking anyway. I don't know though.
Yeah.
I think that's that one put to bed.
Are we back to Tom? Was Tom first? Was it?
Well, he's the one with notes, so.
Oh, he's
Tom,
got
We've
notes.
been doing this for almost an hour. Like, I can't believe that, or just under an hour, isn't it?
We've only answered 4 questions. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the next one. Baywatch.
This is weird.
What?
Okay.
What the fuck is happening on that beach? Like, why is this the beach that like needs all those lifeguards and so many people are drowning? You know, doing theft, doing crime.
Yeah, there's like drug runners, gun runners, smugglers.
This is
why
uncanny because
Do you
I
have
was
this
going to
one
ask.
too?
It's kind of the same. My question was going to be, when we've got such clear evidence of so many problems happening on this beach in Baywatch, why wasn't Trump focusing on stopping the crime happening here than the wall?
Top of
That is true.
I mean, that's the thing for me. It's just bizarre. I mean,
People are really careless on that beach as well.
really,
Yeah.
James? Like,
I mean,
oh my god!
Is
my
there
kid
an
is...
element of it attracts people who sort of want to get rescued?
By Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if
And
we have
the
to
others.
just flop around a bit to get dragged out of the water by David Hasselhoff, I'm going to do it.
Oh man, yeah, I'd like to be wrestled by Hasselhoff.
That was
wrestled.
revealing a little more than you expected to there.
Yeah,
I
sure, why
I
not?
want to get wrestled by Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't?
No.
Computer, run program Hasselhoff Wrestling 3
Wrestle-
/ Oily.
Wrestled off with Hasselhoff. Yep.
You can wrestle off with Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
That's it. That's your program name.
Yep, there we go. I got it. Nailed
They
it.
really didn't have that much
Hasselhoff
decent
or
life
Hasselhoff?
rescuing, as far as I'm aware. Like with, like the little floats. Okay, fair enough. But even in those waters, too long, like they just didn't have the right PPE. I think.
They had a powerboat, to be fair, as well, didn't they? They had like a giant speedboat as well.
But like when you watch those getting, I mean, most of those can do really good shallow water launches. But what I remember about the British lifeguards is they go out, they have paddle boards and proper bigger stuff that they can go out in, and they don't always just go out in shorts. Well, I mean, admittedly it's colder over here, but even there, you don't want to spend that much time in the water because you will still get cold and you will still get cramped. Why weren't more of those lifeguards getting rescued by other? I mean, really, it was just a circle of despair.
Yeah, like, and also, at what point do you call the Coast Guard as
Circle
well?
of Despair is also the name of one of Dan's Hasselhoff programs.
It is, yeah. Like,
Causes balloon knot.
like,
Is it just we laugh whenever anyone says balloon knot?
Yeah.
Sorry, hang on a second.
I saw a tree earlier, and I don't know why I'm saying this on the podcast. I meant to send you a picture of it, but there was a runner behind me, and I had to keep walking. So, but I saw a tree, and it had like what looked like a perfect anus, like on the tree. That was meant to be just for us guys. I can't believe I just mentioned it on the podcast.
Fair enough.
So I am going to take a picture of it tomorrow, and out of context, I'm just going to put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Fuck you, algorithm.
It's the one tree you don't want to hug that tree too hard, do you?
I was just going to send you a message saying, "Guys, shall I put my dick in?" Anyway, yes. So why are these lifeguards dealing with things that the Coast Guard should be dealing with? Because there's a lot of
police / mental health services / just some other people.
Well, I mean, obviously the answer is that it wouldn't be a very entertaining show if they were just constantly just rescuing kids that had fallen off their surfboards.
I think what you mean to say is it wouldn't be a very interesting documentary. It was just...
Exactly, that's what I meant. Yeah, sorry, silly me. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, not once do they follow any type of protocol, which is, oh, those guys all have guns. I have a flotation device. I'm going to call the cops. Yeah. They're like, no, I'm going to fucking dive into the sea and I'm going to swim out to that drug runner's yacht and take it single-handedly using my flotation device as a bludgeon. And that's what happens. That's what happens almost every episode.
It's a far cry from the RNLI, though, isn't it? Like, it's just like...
Sexier.
Yeah, it is, but you can't imagine the gift shop where you can get like the tea towels and the fridge magnets.
The RNLI have probably better boats as well. They are sharp boats.
Cool. Yeah, they're cool boats.
Awesome. They have basically, if I was getting rescued, I want to be rescued by someone that looks like in the RNLI.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as it would be nice to be rescued by someone who looks like they're in Baywatch, at the same time, I'm not 100% sure about their life-saving abilities. Whereas RNLI, I know that I'm going to be all right. Yeah. They're going to put me on.
That's their tagline, isn't it? Less sexy but competent.
It was pretty well.
Yeah, like at what point, if you're being rescued by them on like a sinking boat, and you see fucking Hasselhoff coming towards you with just like a flotation device, thinking, do you not want to just call the Coast Guard maybe?
In his little shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere in the North Sea. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, if they did have a helicopter, it would still be Hasselhoff coming down in just the shorts. But you're looking up, and then suddenly the shorts slip a bit, and all you can see is a ball sack coming down. It's like, I've got the ball sack going, no.
It just looks like 2 grapefruits in a net bag. Just like it's just like hanging loose. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. What's going on with Baywatch? They are nowhere near trained. For starters, they're all like 18, 19.
And they're all facilitators.
Yeah, and they've all been put in a position where they've meant to bust up drug deals. It does feel like maybe they should leave it to the professionals a bit. And also, that beach, as you say, is just a hive of illegal activity.
It's ridiculous because that's the point. It looks relatively picturesque. It looks like a relatively nice kind of, I say relatively nice and then talk about Florida, but it's a relatively nice, almost like Florida style beach. You know, no one's got a care in the world. They're having a great time all the time. There's families and stuff like that. And then disaster strikes. You know, that's when like you said, that's when the human traffickers arrive and, you know, someone. But it's always out at sea, if you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, someone is out on one of those, like, you know, comedy inflatable boats with like plastic oars, and they get sucked out by a current. But then, oh no, there's human traffickers there, and then, you know, they get picked out of their boat, and then suddenly they've got to be rescued. It's not like, you know, it's not like an RNLI call, which is like they just get drifted out to sea, the current pulls them out, and then the boat goes out and rescues them. It's literally, it's like something awful happens. And then they get mouth to mouth, whether they need it or not, at the end of the show.
David, get off me! I can breathe. This is actually making it worse.
No, I've seen it done.
No, not the chest compressions. Not the chest compressions. There was no saving him. He was dead on arrival.
Dude, lay off the onions, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Did you just eat an onion? Like Baywatch is a weird one, but at the same time, amazing theme tune and really watchable.
Very watchable.
Excellent theme tune.
Really, really good theme tune. By the way, we're through the group stages, and I meant to have it all ready for tonight, but I didn't. So we'll put it up on the Instagram. Potentially, Russ, we were talking about doing like some bracket thing, maybe.
Yeah, if you can send me the stats so far, I'll massage them to my own satisfaction and then put together a little bracket graphic or something.
Oh, Russ, I've already done it.
If Red Dwarf doesn't win, I'll be very disappointed because it's the only one that Philin will sing.
Red Dwarf is going to win because
he actually goes fun,
we will lie to people.
Sun.
It's very cute. Biggest surprise so far, and I need to double check this.
There were some quite Sophie's Choice elements in some of those group stages, and I suspect some people are voting for the show, not the theme tune.
It looks like Happy Days was eliminated in the first round.
What did it lose to?
I'll need to go back through and double check, but it looks like Happy Days isn't going to make it through, which is a surprise because that was like the number one.
This is how knockout tournaments work, though, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I'll send them over to you and we'll get it up and we'll get that started this week. I want to have the final round in line with the Super Bowl, and we can analyze the theme tunes in a Super Bowl-esque show. Sure. I was thinking, yeah. Anyway, any more?
Yeah. So in the Barbie and Ken universe,
yeah.
Not just what is happening with all those Barbies, but how do they reproduce? Like,
they just smash their smooth, shiny, featureless pelvises against each other, and then somebody goes to the shop and buys a new one.
Well, that's answered then. But like, why does Ken actually exist as well? Because there's no point. If there is no sexual organs, then actually that is a perfect female universe. It means that you do not have sexual reproduction. You just have that form of Genesis, which I can't think of off my top of my head. And I've had wine, which is not going to help.
Asexual?
Well, it is asexual, but there's a proper term for it. Anyway, yes, asexual reproduction. So does that mean? Are you
suggesting that Barbies kind of split down the middle and turn into two Barbies?
No, I think what happens in rotifers and actually in some snake species is actually the egg is self-fertilized, and then it develops inside, and then, or if you're an anemone, you actually just scoosh out another baby anemone.
So there's a full set of DNA is encoded in the next generation.
And then it just develops, and then
would that not lead inevitably to instabilities in the gene pool?
Not necessarily, not unless there was some disease that came and knocked them out. But there would be generally down the generations there would be a certain degree of mutations.
Do, as you so eloquently put it, just scoosh one out. Where is Barbie scooshing this out from?
Well, exactly. That's the other question. Like, why is there Ken? Where do they get the genetic diversity from? And it should actually be a perfect female utopia.
I think this is I think it's artificially created universe, right? I think even in the Barbie universe, it's an artificially created universe where women get to live the lives that they want to live. So it's like San Junipero.
In backbreaking agony because of their twisted proportions that could never but they're not a human.
This is in they are
now made them more proportionate.
Yeah, still not great.
It's still not physically possible. You would not be able to walk, and your spine would collapse.
I think these are rich people that are put into plastic bodies in this idyllic kind of like.
Oh, so it's like a dollhouse type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that was originally the case, and then just the Ken doll is there because if they get bored, really, that's all he's there for. If they get bored and they get bored of the company of other women, and they just want the odd man every now and then to come and say something stupid.
What is Ken like? Is Ken her boyfriend?
Yeah, I would imagine the role of Ken has changed in the last 40 years.
Is he just her seeding partner?
Yes. Yeah.
Partner.
I do very much enjoy his depiction in Toy Story 2, where he's just completely useless.
Ken pisses me off because I've always assumed Barbie's boyfriend was Action Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're gonna smash featureless genital areas with someone, it was gonna be Action Man rather than Ken, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Action Man's a bit of a bellend, though, isn't he? Now looking back at it.
He thinks he's better than all the rest.
He's a fucking yeah. Fuck you blue pants prick.
What about G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
He was the same.
It was Action Man. It's Action Man in this country, though.
Action Man and G.I. Joe, they are literally the same, aren't they? It was the same toy rebranded.
Yeah. Except G.I. Joes were smaller little figures in the end, weren't they? But yeah.
Probably. I don't know. Never had one.
Me neither. But I think it's like this artificial like San Junipero like universe where their consciousness are uploaded, and they live this like idyllic plastic lifestyle where they don't have to worry about anything remotely like worrisome. In this world. So
that does sound quite grimly dystopian.
What, like the excessive extraction of hydrocarbons and fossil fuel origins?
Yeah, they don't give a shit about that. Yeah.
All that stuff.
Until someone comes in and tells them they're in the Matrix, basically.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Morpheus and the appearing sort of vroomf.
This is a film.
It would be wicked.
Yeah.
In your pitch meeting. Yeah, it's the Matrix, but also Barbies?
Yeah. What are you not getting here? Noun Barbie. Noun Barbie. Yeah. Oh dear.
I'm going to go put some Barbies in the Matrix 4.
So yeah, there you go. Any more for any more?
I've got one.
Brilliant.
Okay, so if you could choose to keep, like now in your current life, any of the futuristic gadgets from Back to the Future 2, what would you like to have? So a quick reminder of some of the stuff that you could be choosing from, not exhaustive list at all. Hoverboard, obviously, flying car, robot dog walker, dehydrated pizza box, self-adjusting jacket or sneakers, fax machines in cupboards for some reason, Pepsi bottles that you can't open, voice-activated lights, pretty sure we've got those already, the upside-down back fixer thing, thumb chuggers, or a belt buckle that plays chicken sound effects. Just some of the tempting range of Futurama that was available in Back to the Future 2. There's some other stuff in there as well.
Thumb chugger.
The charity guy that's getting in to make a donation, you do it with your thumb. You basically do Apple Pay to make his donation. So there is a remarkable amount of stuff in that film, bearing in mind how old it was and how sort of tongue-in-cheek it was, has actually come to pass. You can pay with your thumbprint these days. There's like drone cameras doing the news. There's obviously like all the voice activated home stuff. Doing stuff like changing TV channels and turning lights on with your voice and using it as an identification system. So a lot of it actually has come to pass. But anything in particular, if you could have just like a thing brought back to this time for your personal use now from Back to the Future 2.
Hoverboard.
It's so tempting. Like an actual working proper hover. Not one of the fucking pops up on the news. They've invented hoverboards. All you need is this special room and a liquid helium cooled magnet, and for it to be at minus 200 degrees all the time. And it only works for 10 seconds.
When would you guys use a hoverboard?
Every single day.
Bullshit.
Around the fucking house.
I call bullshit. You'll get bored of it very quickly.
Impossible.
No, I won't.
You totally would. You totally would. Of course you would.
It would also, a hoverboard would be basically the most difficult thing to ride.
Yeah.
Because it's got pretty much no friction. Like what is it getting? Its friction is coming from air. So yeah, it's not a perpetual motion machine, but it would be insanely difficult to drive.
So I think I would sincerely. I would lose a limb. I would lose a limb. I wouldn't
get on one of them.
Bloody good go.
I wouldn't get on one of them. That's ridiculous.
So what would you want then from the future?
I've got two choices. Okay, so the sensible one is Mr. Fusion, something that just
basically
powers my
unlimited
car.
energy from rubbish. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. The slightly less sensible one, but still quite sensible, is that as someone who regularly has problems finding clothes that fit because I've got short arms, the clothing that like naturally the arms like exactly.
You could do it for your little legs.
Exactly. My God, so handy. Like that's very, very handy.
And it can dry itself, can't it? It's got a few other.
Those Nikes look awesome as well.
Can I create the technology? Because like if Dan,
if we're creating technology, magic super blowjob machine.
That's basically saying, can you make up something you would like?
Yeah, exactly.
No. I mean, out of the selection of things that you were sort of read out there, like,
I mean, if
Dan
you can suggest something that would
shrinking clothes.
No,
they're in the film.
The jacket he wears, as soon as he puts it on, it's like flapping past his
arms.
I
know that. I'm saying, like, you're saying to us, which of those technologies would you like to have? Like, are we the ones that create it?
I see what you mean. No, it's just like something just goes warm and it just magically pops into existence in front of you. You can have one thing.
Well, just going back to hoverboards quickly.
I suppose you could try and reverse engineer the technology and make a fortune from it that way.
Cool.
Chinese
right, good.
When we're on hoverboard,
I know it's true, but still.
When we're on the hoverboards,
save it for your Brexit podcast.
Sake! While we're on the fucking hoverboards, okay. The Biff's hoverboard about as dangerous as a Star Wars speeder. By the way, that thing is utterly ridiculous.
It's something that's already insanely dangerous with spikes and rocket packs attached to it.
Exactly, yeah. That has enough torque to pull another 3 people along as well.
But the hoverboards didn't work across water.
Yeah.
Unless you've got power.
You've got power.
Which he does. Too much power.
The thing I definitely wouldn't have is the hover cars, because Audi drivers and BMW drivers are dicks enough as it is, and I just don't want those flying around.
Flying cars would be the worst
thing.
I mean,
ever.
I suppose they'd be good for the planet in the sense that it would decimate the population. I mean, look at how bad human beings are at driving cars on a flat plane. If you add altitude into the mix and the fact that you can't just stop wherever, I mean, if flying cars ever are a thing, there is absolutely no way that any human will be involved in piloting them. It will be 100% automated.
That DeLorean wouldn't really work as well because, like, you're breaking the axle to make it a flying car. Like, you're breaking both the axles to make it a flying car. So at that point, it becomes. I suppose you could do it.
But I guess you've got to think about sort of like, in the future.
It's not real.
The assumption that the assumption that new alloys,
true,
new metallurgy, that kind of stuff.
I hate to bring up Grace's Amazing Machines again, but she has driven a little amphibious quad bike that literally does that. The wheels turn and then it turns into a boat.
That's a quad bike though. It's a bit different from having a car.
I'm saying the principle is the same. There's other ways of linking wheels to an engine.
Yeah, because in that case, I think they also have the direct. Each wheel actually has a direct drive to it, so you can actually do that. So you don't need the
in Paw Patrol, Ryder's ATV turns into a little sort of waterborne jet ski using the wheels as the propulsion system.
And one of the things that is remarked upon about Paw Patrol is its remarkable real life mechanical engineering properties and how true to
absolutely.
What's particularly amazing is none of these people have kids. They're just nonces.
So Dan, you want the adjusting clothes. So Top, what you're actually going to have. But yeah, you could try and claim that you invented it and try and sell it for profit.
Baseball bat that extends on its own.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think a lot of people make a lot of money out of the novelty side of things. So I think the jacket with the built-in sound effect thing, I think, me and Dan go into business together. Dan, look, you've got your fitting, self-fitting stuff. I can add ridiculous sound effects to your garments.
As modelled by Billy Zane, I believe.
As modelled by Billy Zane. What do you reckon, Dan? Let's do Dragon's Den. I'm going to give you 50% of my business for 80% of your business. Okay,
See,
that's how business partnerships work.
You're coming to the right guy, because I've got a business where self-sizing clothing, and I was thinking that they could really do with some sound effects. So I'm
your man.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
There we go. There you go. Look at that. Look, see? There you go, Russ.
Brilliant.
Business partnership already forged there.
Amazing.
Yep. There you go.
Donkey, what are you having? What were you having?
I'm having the hoverboard.
He's having the hoverboard.
I think you'd be surprised how quickly you would get bored of a hoverboard.
I would probably quite enjoy the hoverboard. I miss my bike because I haven't repaired the puncture, so I would probably enjoy the hoverboard.
But-
Philin would definitely love the hoverboard, so he and I could just zoom off.
But I'm sure you missed your bike, but the fact that you haven't repaired your puncture means that you're getting by okay without it.
Yeah, because I've got a car, but
Yes,
going
you've
up,
got a car. Yes.
the thing is, what I really want to do is there's bits of Carmen Hill I want to walk up. I go up, but I have to walk up most of it to get to the bits that I actually really want to do. And I don't really want to walk up the road. If I had the hoverboard, I would just zoom up and go right.
You don't zoom. You don't zoom. It's like a skateboard that hovers. So you still have to push it along.
You've got power. Then I'd take the power with it. Like, come on, man.
Okay, then you won't last a week because that thing will fucking kill you.
Not me.
But he'll have had a nice walk up a hill.
Dan, which thing of Back to the Future 2 do you think would be the one that I would most likely want to take and would be most in my character?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Insanely dangerous hoverboard. Come on, Dan. Come on.
Okay, I mean, my answer is actually Mr. Fusion because that's the most useful thing in the whole fucking thing. Like something that repurposes recycling so that you can use it as an actual fuel would be particularly useful.
I mean,
that's a boring answer.
It's the best answer.
Widely, that could revolutionise the entire world.
As I'm doing my presentation and my fucking sleeves are flapping about, they'll be like, I can't take that guy seriously.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would probably take the Mr. Fusion is a good one, but I've had wine, so I just want the stupid thing.
Hoverboard, innit? Yeah.
Nice.
I'll take the fucking hoverboard.
I've had wine. Take the hoverboard. I'll do it now.
Fucking four
Let's
of them.
go.
Four.
If I was
One
sober,
three others.
One on each
if
hand,
I was
one on each
sober,
leg.
I would solve an environmental crisis. I've had a few glasses, so I'll have a hoverboard.
Yeah.
It's the swordfish thing
Fuck
again.
Mr. Fusion.
It's the swordfish thing again. I'm sure I had a great plan before
I'm
I drank the wine.
I'm not being funny. For those turtles that get their heads caught in those the can holders, what have they ever done for me?
Yeah.
Fucking take the hoverboard.
Fuck cans. I don't want fucking cans. Fusion, fuck. Fucking hoverboards. 15 of them. Just all tied together. It'll be fucking brilliant. We'll have a party, Russ. A party at yours. Hoverboards. That's it.
The Mr. Fusion
party.
powering your RGB.
Yeah. Who wants a pizza?
Have you got any water? No.
Don't bother dehydrating it. Just pop it in.
Yeah, just pop it in. Bing! Good times.
Oh god. What's the animal I want on it? I can't remember what the animal. What's its name? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll have a chicken on there. Thank you very much. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like a drawstring, isn't it? That technology. It's like he literally pulls a drawstring or like a zip thing out, doesn't he? Like, and it just makes the noise. Yeah, it'd be amazing.
In the background, Emma just frantically trying to hammer down a fucking Pepsi bottle, just trying to get into it. Because no one knows how to get into those things.
It's a sort of sealed unit that it's in, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Huh?
So hoverboards all round, except for me, because I've got little arms and little legs.
Oh, poor dad.
No, I'd take the fax machines. Fax machine in every room and cupboard of the house, and they all go off at once whenever you get a message.
So you can't hide anything.
Yeah, that's pretty awful, isn't it? Like,
Dan?
How would that... I mean, that's not very environmentally friendly, is it? Just fucking facsimile machines all over the place.
Do you not think it's a bit presumptuous to sign up to a year of Pornhub? I mean, it's just come through on every fax in the house.
Fuck. Thought I had it on private. Fuck.
Oh dear, that's
right.
funny,
Go on, let's
isn't it?
wrap this bunny up.
I've got two questions from other people. Is that okay?
Other people. Yeah, of course.
I know, right? But they're good. They're good ones. So let's do this. Well, we're gonna. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. So, firstly, Was Mum-Ra the ever-living, only trying to keep his planet free from illegal immigrants? We've kind of touched on this.
Brilliant.
We've kind of touched on this before with Thundercats. Like
they do a right, like don't they like crash land there or something?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, because they leave. Do they leave Thundera for Earth 3 or something like that? Whatever. And then you've got the grown adult with the mind of a 12-year-old, which is
mind of a child.
Mind of a child. You've the mind of a child.
You do not have a high IQ.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I maybe that's it. But he does seem like doesn't he eat like crystals or something? I see. Thundercats wasn't my thing really.
I can't remember. Is Mum-Ra the one that speaks like, "I'll get your neck"? No, that's Skeletor, isn't it?
Yeah. So Mum-Ra
is the one who's actually scary.
Yeah. So Mum-Ra. Yeah.
Mum-Ra could transform as well.
Yeah.
Like, it starts off as a mummy and then becomes this like super muscly undead thing.
One thing I always remember was that the mummy, when he was like in full mummy, like legs out, arms out, the bandages were pretty tight. Like it was like a skin tight kind of like thing going on.
It's
and
like
the bandages were kind of shaking.
It's like Hulk's trousers.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, elastine or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably pretty pissed off that these things just kind of came and just like he got new neighbours and he doesn't like them very much.
If he's the mummy in the tomb,
yeah,
that he was buried here, it's his planet.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you know, and anyone else coming down and fucking shit up and then acting like he's the bad guy.
Yeah,
potentially yes, probably he's trying to keep his planet safe. I mean, the thing is though, he's quite full on about it, isn't he? I mean, it's proper like, I will kill them. It's not like I'm gonna ask them to leave or keep the noise down or, you know, not do their washing at 7 o'clock at night, you know, because it vibrates.
Or work out if they're actually refugees and political asylum.
Exactly.
Political refugees.
His immediate broad brush presumption is that they're there to, you know, mess up his idyllic paradise of sleeping in a puddle. Which is effectively what he does. He sleeps in a pool, doesn't he? He literally comes out of a pool of magic water. Or is that Skeletor? I can't remember.
No, that was Mum-Ra.
That is Mum-Ra.
Yeah.
Is it water or is it sand?
Oh, who knows?
I think it's water.
Because, you know, old mummy bandages and water, they'll be sticking to him like a wet Kleenex.
God, it fucking stink as well.
I mean, he's got to really kick out at Pong, especially when he's fighting as well.
Yeah.
Proper old decomposing crotch.
Musty.
Yeah.
Do you remember like when you were like young and did you ever wear like socks 2 days in a row?
Yeah.
And then you took them off and they're just like you didn't have to bend down to smell them.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine what the anus area of those bandages smells like?
Duncan's left.
Well, I mean, you know what it's like when you've been wearing a pair of trainers like, you know, for 6 months without doing anything about it, and you'd literally be wearing them every single day.
Yeah.
Like you need to put those fucking things in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Like, and if they can't be washed, you just need to throw them away. Like, you know, no amount of baking soda or vodka or any other home remedy or Febreze is going to get rid of that smell because it's like dog piss. It's like, and so okay, Mum-Ra's been there for 60 million years. Like he doesn't even smell of dog piss anymore. He's beyond dog piss. It's just, I mean, it's like any fetid, horrible pair of pants that have like been worn for decades and oh my god, like literally, like they'll be like Charlie from Always Sunny's underpants. You know what I mean? Like they look like they stink.
So we're sort of saying that, like, yes, he is just defending his rightful home planet from invaders, but because he stinks so bad, we're not on his side.
Yeah, like
he's like stereotypical Brexit supporters. You know, the kind of people who are like, no, they should be over here stealing our fucking jobs. It's like, well, to be fair, it wouldn't be bad if you left. Like they can stay, you can go. I mean,
I would imagine that the Thundercats are more useful to the local economy.
There doesn't seem to be much of a thriving local economy there.
The planet seems a bit shit, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Could Mum-Ra actually just be the local despot, and that is kind of why he's the bad guy?
Yeah, maybe there is absolutely nothing that can satisfy him. Like, he's got a whole planet to himself. He's a fucking mummy. He's not going anywhere, is he? Like, why not just let, Mr. and Mrs. Lionel next door move in next door? And then he goes, I just hate cats. I just fucking hate cats. I bet he tries to spray them with a hose. Didn't work.
That's the one thing that keeps the Thundercats away is just a quick squirt with a plant spray. They really don't like that. That does keep them away.
All he needs to do is just kind of let them kind of go about their business. Probably be fine. But he won't, will he? He's a fucking bell end.
I love that. So spraying cats. Like, man, that really tickled me. That did.
Just let them be. Just leave them be. Yeah, I think there is, like, maybe someone just needs to sit down and have a conversation with Mum-Ra. Like, in the same way that I think a lot of Brexit could have been solved if people actually sat down and had a proper conversation rather than shouted at each other. Maybe that's what needs to happen here.
I reckon it's all over a misunderstanding. He saw a load of cats had moved in. He thought, well, you know what? I'll just crumble this building into enough litter for them to have enough litter in their litter trays forever. And the Thundercats were like, what the fuck? Like, this guy, like, this mummy's just come along. It's destroyed that house we've just built. And that's it. And that's basically what started it all. They attacked him. He attacked them. And both of them now, maybe these are like the 15th generations of cats. And he's just continually fighting them. I don't know. It's a good one, though. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was very good.
I like that one as well. Okay, one more.
Just keeping this planet clean, probably.
Yep. Is Skeletor the jealous ex-lover of He-Man?
I'll get you next time, He-Man! Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you can imagine. He-Man, can you not see I've been working out?
He's remarkably buff for a skeleton, isn't he?
He really is.
I mean, that is another searching question. What the hell is going on with the skull balanced on top of Arnold Schwarzenegger from the 1980s body?
Well, it's like he's just had the flesh stripped from his head, but it doesn't seem to have inconvenienced him in any way.
But he's got a hood.
There is a newer...
He'll be right.
I don't know actually how new, but there is a newer version of He-Man where it does... You can find it on YouTube, the explanation for Skeletor's origins and how he lost his face.
Don't know if I want to know that. Is it what's the explanation?
It is a bit dark
in the original series.
It's some magic as he's trying to kill Adam of Grayskull's father.
There you go.
So
I didn't know that.
Historical family beef there.
I kind of think...
But is he trying to kill his father because he knows that he doesn't approve of their secret relationship?
It could just be that...
Interesting twist.
Yeah, Skeletor's a nonce.
Yeah, it could be that.
He-Man is a grown adult.
His name is He-Man. Like, he is a grown-up. He's fully grown.
What about when Adam was younger? We don't know.
He-boy.
He-boy.
He-child. No, it's...
How old is He-Man? That's the question, isn't it?
I just kind of assume like mid-20s. Like, he looks
not
like...
Not really noncy then, is it?
No, like, he looks
Could
like
be
he
just
likes
18 or 19.
Yeah. He looks like he likes to go out and party a bit, doesn't he, He-Man? Like, when you see him, if only because of the amount of videos I've seen with him dancing, yeah.
Yeah.
He does seem to go to those kind good discos. So
I kind of think we should come back at some point and just do He-Man. Because, like...
that's what Skeletor
Phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
I'm thinking that He-Man is pretty fucking weird, and there's probably a decent amount we could get from He-Man.
They were all weird, those cartoons.
Yeah, Thundercats was pretty weird as well. Transformers was. I had a couple on Transformers, but we'll do that at some other point.
We're over an hour and a half now.
Exactly, yeah. I had another one on the Scooby-Doo cinematic universe as well, but we'll broach that next time. Maybe we'll do searching questions sooner rather than later.
Okay. SDCU.
Yeah. Have we got anyone still on the stream?
Probably not.
Yeah, no, nothing from the stream. Yeah, a couple of people watching it, but yeah.
Fair dues. Thank you for sticking with us. You have strong composure. Well done. Okay, so that's it. That's our searching questions for this this edition of Searching Questions by the Too Much Time on Our Hands team. If you have any searching questions that you'd like us to deal with, thank you very much for the 2 that were sent in. And if there are any others you'd like us to do like almost a quick fire with, or something at the end of like one of the next episodes, or something you'd like us to save up for a bigger, more sort of substantial format like we did this week, just hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter using @TMTOH. And well, that's it really. Thanks for watching. If you were watching us on the stream, wave everyone. Wave at the YouTubers. Waving. Just checking that they're waving. Yep, they're waving. Great, excellent. And if you were listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, or whatever, or SoundCloud, thank you very much for listening. Maybe watch the stream next time, but it's completely up to you. If you like to listen, you crack on and listen.
Getting slightly more passive-aggressive every time you say that.
I know, slightly more.
Maybe watch the stream next time.
Maybe watch the stream next time. I mean, we are trying to get this going in YouTube land, but, you know, whatever, the support, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever, if you want to support us or thank us for doing all this. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to say goodbye from me, Tom. I'm going to say goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Russ.
Later, Taters.
Goodbye, Daniel.
I mean, I'd probably fuck He-Man too.
Yeah, he will get you next time. And on that note, let's cue the music.